Let's go to the top of the charts right here. Now this is supposed to be a hands down right here for these Twins. You know, they're minus 150 to win the division. So hands down, Twins. I mean, I guess you could say in baseball, you got some teams, you know, the elite teams are kind of few. This is a team right now. They falling in the elite category. Played really well last year. They had them at 84. They went over by 16 wins. They bring the bar up this year. I'm showing 91.5. I think they do it again, just on competition in their own league. I mean, it's a lot of volatility with them to win. They do well on the road as well. Minnesota Twins, I like them. You know, is it worth holding my money all season for 150? Absolutely not. So I wouldn't put a future on this one at all. But I like the Minnesota Twins right here. What you think about this team, Joey?
Nicknamed the Bomba Squad. So the lineup is really good, but the rotations were on question mark. Obviously, Jose Berrios is an ace, and he's 25. He had his best season last year. He's only going to get better. But then we got Jake Ardozzi, who he accepted his qualifying offer, $17.8 million, because he knows he wasn't going to get that anywhere else. But last year he had 15. Last year was 15-7, 3.51. No year prior, since 2012, has he won more than 11 games. Even the year before, he was 7-10. So I definitely expect regression from him. They added Kenta Maeda from the Dodgers. They signed Homer Bailey for 1 year, $7 million, and we know about him. And then they got in the 5 spot right now is Julio Chacin, who is definitely really old. I wonder exactly how old he is. He's going to be 32 this year. Not really old, but he's been pitching for a while. And he started a downward spiral last year. He was 3-12, 6.01 ERA. They obviously still have Michael Pineda, who is he has to finish a 60-game performance-enhancing suspension. And then they do also have the famous Uber driver, pitched Game 2 of the ALDS, Randy Drubnik. Their bullpen is also pretty good. In Taylor Rogers, they got Sergio Romo, Trevor May. So the bullpen's pretty good, but the lineup is where the problems start. They got Kepler, Polanco. They added Josh Donaldson. They still have Nelson Cruz, who's good for another 35, 40 home runs. And then even all the way down, Mitch Garver in the 6, Miguel Sano's slotted in the 8, and Byron Buxton in the 9. So their lineup is really what I'm afraid of. My projections, I have them winning 90 games, 90-72. When I did my research on this, their team total was at 92.5. So obviously it's been bet down a little bit, but I'm not gonna touch that.
What you think about this over here, Parlay Papi? The Twins.
Game train Twins, man. How many home runs can they hit this year? Probably not as many, but man, about every single person on that roster have double-digit home runs. That was a wild thing to watch, especially riding those Twins overs. That was like the parlay key of my baseball career last year. I mean, the rotation, Joey clearly addressed it. The lineup is absolutely fire with Josh Donaldson. I mean, that's just another enormous bat in that ballpark in the AL, right? He'll probably make up for Nelson Cruz a little bit. He's fucking 40 years old, 41 years old. But he's a productive 41-year-old. You know, he's not like Albert Pujols, for example, stuck in some wild contract who's really not producing. Albert Pujols on the Angels. But pitching is the whole problem. The starting rotation is completely untrustworthy. A bright spot, Jordan Blaskovich, is the only name that would ring a bell for anybody who follows pitching pipelines like I do after having a decent 2018, 2019 in the high A. These are guys that you think might come up to take one of these rotation spots or get some MLB experience. That's a bright spot over there. But this is not going to win games. It's not going to win titles. It's not going to win conferences. This pitching rotation is not good. The bright spot in the pitching rotation overall is the fact towards the end of the season, this is probably the best bullpen in the league. I believe they had a 7.4 WAR, wins against a replacement pitcher, right? So they were absolutely fired towards the end of the season. I had so many questions about that bullpen throughout the entire season, but they did pull it together. I think Sergio Romo needs to fucking go somehow, man. His stuff is off. But besides that, long story short, we can talk about the Twins all day. The rotation is not going to win them games. They're going to be playing from behind a lot, and they're not going to be taking any titles home.
Well, let's talk about those bats then. Now, people are, this kind of reminds me of football right here. Now, in football, you have teams that say, okay, I'm going to out offense you. In basketball, too, you have teams that say, I'm out offense you instead of playing defense. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to like the St. Louis Rams. Like we just going to burn and turn so much that and with these bats right here now, they did have such a great season. Many might say that they couldn't bring it back again, but to me, and this is only my 4th year going in baseball, and this is, I like to move off of energy. I think bats is where you want to, if teams with bats are going to give you some longevity, like think about swinging the bat and hitting homers. Like that's enthusiasm and motivation to play each game, is to get those balls in the air. So I think, the bats, they'll be safe regardless of, I know baseball is kind of like a pitcher sport, and that's like the number one angle that I ever use if I go into two teams I don't know much about or anything. That's like where you go in baseball. But bats is the neutralizer. That you can have the shittiest pitching ever, but if you can have just like the Dodgers record should have been way worse last year, but because they had those late bats that would come in there and knock those runs in, that's what saved them so far. But I guess true baseball fans know that it's no longevity as far as winning the championship with that type of method. But in football, we've seen it happen. We would have said the same thing with the St. Louis Rams, but they came and did it. And there's a couple basketball teams that, like the Golden State Warriors, they're not big time on defense, but they'll kill you on offense. So I don't know. Might be one of those contrarian positions right there with the Twins, going far this season. But
you can't play from behind. You can't play from behind in baseball. It doesn't work. The bullpen has to hold up, or the other team just catches up the runs, right? And then it ends in the 9th inning. Depending on who's at home and who's not at home, who gets to bat last, right? And if you're in that battle, then that's not any type of battle you want to be, because then you're coin flipping. If your bullpens both suck and you guys are, the score is 9-8 and it's the bottom of the 8th, and you got all the lineup coming up and your bullpen's trash. It doesn't work in baseball because you have a designated roles, and bullpens have to win. That's the most important thing, and that's why like last year for me was really a difficult season due to the fact that there was so much volatility in the bullpen, and then pitchers are getting taken out way too early, and a lot of bad managerial decisions about how they're lining guys up. So we'll see some of that change this year, because remember, a pitcher has to play at least 3 guys.
Yep.
Unless the inning ends, right?
Yep.
So you can't just spot guys in there 3 times in one inning to cut down on game time. So some things might change, but I think that you can't just have offense. It doesn't work, because there has to be a point where the other team is neutralized. Now, let's say you're playing the Tigers, right?
The Tigers.
The Tigers. I mean, they don't really have anything to hit, right? They don't really have bats to hit. So you can use your shit bullpen and probably win almost 90% of the games when you're up. The Cardinals are another team that are really difficult to score runs. The Giants, despite them having a little streak, it's another team. But if you're a good team, there's no way. If you're a decent team, there's no way.
What you think about the effects of the bats in the game, Joey?
Meaning if
heavy loaded offensive teams can make it all the way.
No. So as you can see, this team was heavy loaded last year, and then when it came to the playoffs, they lost. They got shut down. Basically, if you don't have a starting rotation going into the playoffs, what I think is, if you don't have a starting rotation going into the playoffs, you ain't going to win in the playoffs. It's all about pitching in the playoffs. I mean, it will get you to the playoffs, but say you only got Berrios now. Like, they started Randy, an Uber driver. They started him in Game 2 of the ALCS. You're not going to win the World Series with that like that. I'm sorry. That's like going all last year. Everyone's like, oh, I'm afraid of the Twins. I'm a Yankee fan. So when we went to ALCS, I'm like, honestly, the Twins will not beat the Yankees. The team that will beat the Yankees is a team of starting pitching, as the Astros cheaters did.
That's what's up. Well, let's go into what kind of food we could eat over here in Minnesota. It's cold as shit, but you still got to eat. And look what they got for you. Woo!
Bloody Mary.
I'm with it.
I like that one right there. I guess the Wednesday do get is worth it, man. Look at that. You get an olive, a burger.
That's the hangover special right there.
Half a hot dog.
Yeah, it's a hot dog on there too. That thing is busy. A celery stick. Oh man, you getting your vegetables, your vitamins. There's liquor in that thing too, ain't it? Ain't that
that's a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, you got to take that hot dog out. No one wants no hot dog flavored water over here. You got to get that.
That's right. That's a nice one right there, man. I think I'll eat that one. You eat that one, Papi?
Oh, all day. That's a hangover cure right there. Right? You got your Bloody Mary, you got your greasy burger, you got a chicken wing, you got a little olive for health purposes. You know, that looks wild, man. They have some stuff like that at brunch. You know what I mean? You go out, and I never tried it, but I would try it at the ballpark. Get there early.
That's right.
Over. Give me one of those. I'll pay $20.
How much you think that costs, Joey?
Where are we? We're in Minnesota. So probably not that expensive, but I say about $20.
$20. Ooh, what you think, Parlay? Over or under $20?
I said 25, probably $20. 20
over 25 bucks. I don't know. I wish I had somebody in from Minnesota who could tell us, because I'll never know.
Because there's booze in it, you know. It's a
drink. You're right.
Burger.
Yeah, but you're getting a booze and a burger. That thing might be $28. You're getting booze, burger, half a hot dog, and some vegetables. Don't forget a chicken wing and the vegetables. That's a good one. Who-Bangin Sports Talk. What up, though? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.